Today, we're going to take a look at a report from MJ Business Daily about the economic impacts of cannabis, from jobs to taxes, real estate, everything that has an economic impact from the cannabis industry on the broader economy. Then we're going to take a step back. We're going to look at the U.S. mid-year report on the legal industry's projection that cannabis is going to be at $6 billion quarterly sales. All of that from New Frontier data coming up. Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm John Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast. So, from jobs to tax revenue to commercial real estate, the cannabis industry has a large and growing impact on the broader economy in the U.S. According to the MJ Biz Factbook, the total U.S. cannabis impact from cannabis sales this year in 2021 is expected to reach $92 billion. That's up more than 30% from last year, and upwards of 160 billion in 2025. So long story short, the economic impact is that for every dollar consumers and patients are spending at retail locations, what it's doing is adding $2.50 that's going to be injected into the economy. So this impact of what it's coming from, basically day-to-day needs. There's workers in the cannabis industry. They're spending on life's necessities like housing and transportation. So it's creating a lot of jobs, and those jobs have that economic impact as well. Just take a look at all of the existing both medical recreational states. There's been a huge influx, cannabis tourism, if you will, or people just moving there permanently. That's adding a lot of state and local taxes, as well as real estate, obviously taking a huge increase as well from Colorado, Washington, everywhere. Although a lot of the residents have a NIMBY, not in my backyard philosophy, when it boils down to dollar and cents, it does increase the local communities at large. Never really heard people kind of complaining about all of the cows, but cannabis and hemp, for some reason, just triggers a lot of people. Economic impacts are going to vary, obviously, from state to state based on the size and maturity, the type of market, all of that. So, for example, if you look at the largest market in the U.S., that's California. That's expected to close to $20 billion for the state's economy this year alone. Now, remember, that's not just sales, that's the economic impact. So if you look at other states like Colorado, Illinois, Oregon, Washington, they're going to provide more than $10 billion each for the local economy. Obviously, California, fifth largest GDP in the world, they're going to have the larger impact just based on the total dollars that they're creating. But you're going to look at other states seeing to be able to deliver a larger dollar impact on a per capita basis. If you look at Nevada, they're going to deliver almost $2,000 of economic impact per person this year. Not as many people live in Nevada, that's why. Marijuana markets like Alaska, Colorado, Oregon, they're also going to pump in $1,500 per person into their respective states. California, it's going to create almost double the amount of dollars in impact, but contribute a little more than $500 of impact per person. So the impact that the cannabis industry has you could see the reverse effect with the pandemic. So the lack of employees being able to go downtown means that a lot of the business districts got decimated, absolutely hammered. So, maybe some small sandwich shop, they're gone. The reverse happens when a huge amount of people, an influx of businesses come in and open up shop. And that has a trickle down effect of 2.5 times the amount that people are actually coming in to spend. So, not a bad economic impact. Let's take a look now and see what New Frontier data has for U.S. mid-year projections as a $6 billion quarterly sales expectation. So, analysis by New Frontier Data, they're projecting legal cannabis sales to increase by approximately 4.4% from the first to the second quarters of 2021. Quarterly sales across legal, medical, and adult use states reached an all-time high of $5.84 billion in the first quarter of 2021, with sales of a second quarter 2021 projected to surpass $6 billion. So last year in 2020, total combined sales of cannabis across all legal, medical, and adult use states was in the $20 billion threshold. But with 10 newly legalized state markets expected to activate sales in the next 2 years, the total annual sales nationwide are projected to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 16% over the next 5 years and reach $43 billion by 2025. So anytime we have a new rollout, what you have to do is extinguish the legacy market, and that takes a little while. So anytime there's a new product entrant, like in Illinois, apparently there's only about 11 brands in Illinois. So your market share is going to be dominated by basically just a few companies, not necessarily a monopoly, but not very competitive. And so you have to erode, that illicit market. And in order to do that, prices have to come down, but that always takes a while because of the limited supply. So when people don't want to pay $300 an ounce because they can get that a pound for 500, for example, like I can, why would they do that? In Canada, you're not going to spend 60 to $80 on a gram of oil, when the legacy market is doing, maybe $20 a gram for something that's even better than what you can get in a store for three times the price. So again, the whole quality has to come down and meet the convenience. So price and convenience, two determining factors in what people are going to buy, but obviously quality has to be there. Otherwise, the legacy market, the illicit market, it's not going to go away until we can make something that's worth buying. Last year in 2020, it was estimated that 24% of all cannabis sales were believed to be legal. By 2025, they're hoping that to be 42% of all cannabis to be made by legal purchases. So they know that at least two-thirds of the people are out there buying from their existing marketplace, we'll say. So there's 38 legal cannabis medical states plus DC, looking at total number of medical cannabis patients nationwide, surpassing around 4 million as of the end of April, projected to increase to a newly legal medical market becoming operational. And in all of those where cannabis has been legalized for medical use, New Frontier data expects that there will be a combined 5.4 million registered medical patients by 2025. That's about 2% of the entire US population. All right, with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.